Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, Cowboys Nation. Good morning, good people. It's a good Tuesday to talk Dallas Cowboys football. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Underdog Fantasy and the Cochran Firm. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! You know who I'm looking at. We're going to turn this music down real quick. I want you to look me in the eye.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
You know, I really thought I was going to have to wear the Ryan Nall jersey. I truly did. Oh, but I do not. And it is a joyous day today. But Tom, I'm sorry. I truly am. But we ain't got to worry about no Ryan Nall, baby. Hey, let's go. Okay, I'm sorry, Tom. You know I had to do it. I figured I'd get it out early. I didn't want to do this to you, man, but
they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Now this one is for Tom, because we all have a player that we really like. And, you know, when they get cut or something happens to them, it sucks. So I truly do feel for you, Tom. I truly do. So let's all say a prayer for our guy, Tom Downey Burner account. Because Ryan Nall is gone. But guess what?
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? No, we're just having fun. 84. That's all it is, man. Shout out to the Bomb Squad in the building. Let me get to you real quick.
Bomb Squad!
Just know, if I start to feel a little down during this show, I just might revert back to the Ryan Nall cut and the fact that I don't have to wear this man's jersey as of right now. You know, things can change. And let me just say this, Tom. If for whatever reason this man comes back onto the team and makes the roster, I'll come back. I'll apologize. But 1 second. I don't got to wear the Ryan Nall jersey, but I did buy this for y'all. What's up, Adrian? I got this for y'all down there in camp. We're not going to be wearing no Ryan Nall jersey, but I'm going to give away the Roger Staubach jersey to one of the lovely winners that we'll do a drawing for. I have no idea when I'm going to do it. I want to do it before the season. I really do, so that you guys can have this and rock it during game days. Let me put this back on. There we go. But, so, yeah, man, we ain't got no Ryan Nall jerseys, but we got Roger Staubach Captain America jerseys for you, all right? So I wanted to, start the show off with that, get it out the way. We got cuts we'll get to. We got roster moves, roster battles, injury updates, all that good stuff for the day. You can call into the show if you want. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. Tom, I really want you to call in today. Of all the days, just leave your desk. We know you got some accounting things to do. We know you got, all these different clients you got to deal with and things like that. Just let them know you got some important business to get to for the morning show. Holla at me. Let's rap. Let's talk it through, and we'll get through it. All right, man? With that said, let's hit this round up. Let's get to some Cowboys football, and let's have some fun today, Cowboys Nation. Let's go.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
It's time for the morning roundup, but we ain't going to get to the morning roundup just yet because we got to make sure we have the morning roundup for y'all, right? We got to make sure we got that. And give me a second, I'll get it for you guys. But I'll start that off. My apologies. I was having too much fun with the Ryan. I was having way too much fun with Ryan. No, I forgot to bring in the dang old morning roundup. But I'll start it off, though. We got some injury news, man. And one of the main things to take away from the injury news is that Jaron Kearse will be out yet again this week. Now, it's not a time to panic, right? It's not a time to panic just yet. We won't go there just quite yet. But this is something that I really do have my eyes on, Cowboys Nation, and that's not the dang going. It's not what we want here. That's what we want. I do have my eyes on Jaron Kearse in this situation. I do. 2 weeks in a row, he's dealing with the back issue. And we know how important Jaron Kearse is to the Dallas Cowboys, right? Again, I'm not panicking. I am getting a little bit worried. That's all I'm going to say. I'm getting a little bit worried. Backs, we don't like backs, right? He's not like he's a 21, 22-year-old pup. He's been in the league for a little bit, and he plays a demanding position. So let's kind of keep our eyes on Jaron Kearse. He will be rested this week. And if he's rested this week, might as well just rest him to the season, right? Just go ahead and rest him to the season. Will Grier is hopeful to get some work in this week per Mike McCarthy. Wednesday, I believe, is where they're targeting Will Grier to get some more work, and hopefully he can get some team stuff on Thursday with the Chargers. Now, that's when they start the kind of scrimmage or what have you. So let's keep an eye on Will Grier. We want him to get back in there because that backup quarterback position is now in a full heated battle because of Gucci Danucci. I know that sounds funny, but no, seriously. He played well enough on Saturday to kind of say, all right, Cooper Rush was terrible. Danucci was better. If it was the end today, Danucci would have to be on the same level as Cooper, right? Or would you say screw the preseason? We saw what Cooper did in the Vikings game, which I know how I feel. But Will Grier will be back, hopefully, and let's see what he can do this week. And then finally on the injury front, Tyron Smith is expected to be back out there. He had the whole ankle situation going on, but he's expected back this week. Another guy who, honestly, I don't even know if I would work him into the team stuff. Would you? I don't even think I'd work him into anything to do with the Chargers until we get to week 1, man. Just go ahead. Come on over, sit down, Tyron. More, not even really injury stuff here, but Anthony Barr. Thank you for the reporter who asked this question as it was starting to get kind of swept under the rug. Last week when we were out at Oxnard, I had noticed just in the back off to the side, Anthony Barr with his helmet on the cords, doing more things with head trainer Britt Brown. And I had looked over to watch and said, I wonder how close he is. Well, somebody asked Coach, hey, what's up with Anthony Barr? When are you going to get him back involved in things? And he said he's going to practice this week. We're going to see where he's at, and we'll move on from there. They'll get him involved in individual things on Wednesday, and they'll build off on top of that. I'm not sure that we will see Anthony Barr in the preseason. I'm not even sure that we need to. I think getting him involved in individual and team drills and team practice in camp will probably be enough for the veteran. And this is a guy that's been around the league. I don't think we really need to see him out there. So, again, he's not hurt. He's just getting acclimated, trying to figure out the playbook, figure out his teammates, figure out where he fits in here. And then I think he'll be good to go for week 1. Then we get to the Cowboys cuts. We had our fun early. And what's funny is, Tom, I wasn't going to do this to you early. I was going to wait till after this part here. But I just couldn't help myself. But the Dallas Cowboys have waived injured cornerback Kyron Brown, fullback Ryan Nall, and tight end Ian Bunting, and wide receiver Ty Freifogel, as well as just flat out waiving Austin Falowu. I can't pronounce that name. My apologies, man. We met him in person, too, and I still don't remember. My bad, Austin. But the defensive tackle has been around the Dallas Cowboys for a number of years. He is also been waived. Now, here's the interesting thing. 4 of the 5 cuts that they needed to get down to 85, are waived injured. So that's why I kind of was like having a little fun with Ryan Nall, but he could be back, right? It could be one of those things where they somehow put him on IR and he's back on the team and he comes back during the season. I don't know. But let me ask y'all this as we come out of the morning roundup here. Of the four, Kyron Brown, Ryan Nall, Ian Bunting, and Ty Freifogel, do we see any of these guys making a return to the roster? Or do we see multiple guys making a return to the roster? I do. I see a couple of these dudes, but I want to know what you guys got to, how you feel about Freifogel, the wide receiver, Ian Bunting, Kyron Brown, Ryan Nall. Kyron, I thought he was okay, but again, hey, your ankle hurt, right? I think it's one of those things where they actually like Kyron Brown to keep on the roster, on the practice squad if they can, and if something were to happen at the cornerback position, they'll call him up. They did it a couple years ago. Ryan Nall could be the same thing. They could put him on the practice squad. Ian Bunting's been around similar fashion, but I don't know if they'll bring him back given the young tight ends in the room, which we'll get to later. And wide receiver Ty Freifogel, I actually think they'll bring him back too. I was talking to Professor O, and we know Dallas, they just love their own guys, right? And if Freifogel's not really hurt like that, I can see them putting him on the practice squad and just kind of trying to groom him as much as they can. And if they need him, call him up. Because this year, I don't think there is a deep wide receiver room as it was last year. So it's a possibility if something were to happen, you get a call up. So I got all these guys except no, I don't. Let me be real. No, I don't. Ian Bunting won't be back. Austin, I don't think will be back. And I could be wrong here. But I got Kyron Brown and Ty Freifogel as the two guys I think will come back to the Cowboys. Toxic said Ryan Nall's like herpes. You think it's gone? Professor O got Freifogel coming back. What's good, Joey? Matt Willetsko. That's interesting. Stephen White pointed that out. Did not get the injured wave thing. But again, draft pick, right? None of these guys are Cowboys draft picks. We talked about how going into training camp, there were some down roster guys who, if I had to really think about it, when we'll get to Deron Bland, the Devin Harpers of the world, and the Willetskos, well, definitely Willetsko, I figure they might make this team just based off of being drafted and seeing that this team likes to keep drafted players. But if it was about jumping guys on the roster, I felt like they were going to have good camps and good preseasons. Well, a couple of those guys have done that. So, well, let's go. Interesting, not put on IR just quite yet. Dude's huge too. Tall, let me say that. Let's see. Kyron Brown got a little dinged up in the Broncos game. Yeah, and then it came out that he was okay, So I thought, but again, it's one of those, just gonna put you on IR, keep you here type of thing. That's what I think that was, Oscar. Hey, Sky, with the telephone number so I can make my first call into you from Maryland. Okay, Steve. That is right there. 351-999-3787. And if I don't have it up there for whatever reason, you will see it going across the scroll bar somewhere scrolling around. So that is a call-in line. Danny asked, when is a fantasy draft? We are still trying to settle in on a date because we got to do it live. We want to do it live. So we're trying to figure out, do we want to do this during the morning? Do we want to do this during the night? And you're right. I got to get this date for y'all because y'all got to be a part of it. So I got you, Danny. I got you this week. I'm gonna get a time frame for y'all to be a part of this thing. Okay, so anybody else have Ian Bunting or Ryan Nall or Austin coming back on this roster? I got Kyron and I got Ty Freifogel. That's what I got. So we got a 4-4-3 in the building. Is this Steve? Let's go ahead and get to the lines early and often right now, and then we'll get to our battles. What's up?
How's it going, man?
What's up? Who this?
This is Steve from Maryland.
Well, welcome to the show, Steve from Maryland. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Not a problem, man. Hey, look, great work. This is the first time calling, and I just appreciate everything you're doing, man.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work.
Thank you, man. What you got for the show?
Actually, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I definitely think we need some O-line help. That's for sure. What's his face has got to go.
Josh?
He's just got to go. Yeah, Josh Ball, he's got to go, man. I never liked him from the beginning. I didn't think it was a good pick and I don't think he's it at all, and he's definitely showing he's not it. So, as far as wide receiver, I think is it Kyle Fuller? I think we should go out and grab the one that can take the top off.
Yeah,
Will Fuller.
Yeah, Kyle's a corner, but I get you.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I think we should go ahead and grab him, because even if he only comes in on certain plays, I think a lot of defensive players are going to look at it as, okay, he's going to go down the field for a deep ball, and I think that can truly open up some of our other wide receivers to make some serious damage. So I think that would be a good pickup. At least, if it's not a permanent fix, it'll definitely help us out in some areas as far as that. Especially, I think it'll help CD Lamb out, especially with him moving around on the field this year.
Yeah, I don't see it being it's a win-win to me. You get a veteran guy in here who has the one aspect of your receiving room that you don't have right now. If he gets hurt or it doesn't work out, it's not going to cost you anything. So yeah. But from what I heard, shout out to Aaron and did some more digging. Sounds like Will is not all in on football right now. So that's the part that, as fans, we don't really see. So
yeah, that's true. That's always confusing, man. These guys make good money and they have a career ahead of them. I don't know. I'd be all about football if that was me.
You never know what somebody's going through, man.
Exactly. That's very true, especially in this damn world. But I'm not going to hold you up, man. I appreciate letting me on the phone line, and continue doing the great work.
Thanks,
and
Steve.
Representing for, us Cowboy fans, brother.
Indeed. Shout out to the DMV, man. Appreciate you, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Good call from Steve, man. Way to start off the show with a good call. All right, look. Will Fuller, yeah. If Will Fuller was all in, I'd be for it. But as I'm talking about Will Fuller, I was reminded in my head that he might not be all in on the NFL and playing in general, halfway in, halfway out with retirement. So, and just going through some of his own personal things. Hopefully he's okay. Just as a human, I hope he's okay. But yeah, doesn't hurt to get another body in this wide receiver room. I've been saying that for a long time. Trey Bossman for a swing. We talked about this yesterday on the Vosh Lombardi live show. Maybe we'll bring it up again once we get to these roster battles. A Shy says, Is Sky? Is Kellen Moore on the hot seat for the season? If he's not, why not? I think so. I think so for us. For the front office, probably not. Why not? Because he has the backing of Jerry and Steven. So, CT Madhead, you think Isaac Taylor Stewart is going to get cut? Me and Professor O kind of thought he might be a part of this little round here. Didn't have a great game, but he has those traits: 6'2", 4'4", long, lanky guy, can run. So he's trying to be a part of this this battle, this room. And let's just go ahead and start with that room. Since I wasn't going to start with that room, but appreciate you for the question about Isaac Taylor Stewart. Let's start with that battle in regards to where this is going to go for cornerback. I think 4. Now, just a month ago, this was Kelvin Joseph versus Nashawn Wright versus Anthony Brown. But
Hold on a minute, player.
Hold on a minute, player. You just put yourself in a match with the Undertaker. No, seriously. DaRon Bland has definitely inserted himself into this equation. Not even just inserting. He bullied his way up there. He was already trying to get through the crowd at camp, right? He was, walking through, shoulder bumping people. Hey, wait a minute. Excuse me, Isaac Taylor Stewart. Sit over there. All right? Excuse me, Quandre Mosley. What are we doing? Excuse me. Hey, Kelvin, I know you were a second round pick and everything, but hey, dog, you mind if I get up here and Kelvin is trying to block him out, No. Stay where you at. But after Saturday's game, mind you, these are roster battles following the Denver Broncos, game, the aftermath, right? After the Denver Broncos game, there's no way you can deny DaRon Bland being part of the CB4, shout out to CB4, conversation. There's no way you can do it. He was already in this jumbo pot of cornerbacks after the top three. And make no mistake about it, J. Lou, Anthony Brown, and Diggs are your top three cornerbacks in camp right now. Does that mean that one of these guys can unseat the third guy? Sure. But AB's been one of your better cornerbacks in camp, period. I don't think that's happening. Not yet. But here's what I found interesting about this little grouping here, and in particular, your second round pick from last year. There was a tweet that Bobby Belt put out in response to John Oning. John Oning says, the sound you hear is Kelvin Joseph, quote, Kelvin Joseph should be on the roster bubble, quote, take elevating from a thought to a whisper. And here's what Bobby Belt said. He's been the sixth best corner in camp. If you count the snaps that McQuama has played at corner, he'd be the seventh. I had to take off the kid gloves yesterday on Vach's show because I had to be real with him. I had to give Vach some tough love here. I had to give Kelvin some tough love. And I hate to say this because I hate this. Second round picks. I don't want to hear this in year two. But if we're being completely honest, at training camp, obviously in the game, Kelvin hasn't been impressive. There's a difference in Kelvin's been bad with Kelvin hasn't been impressive. He hasn't. He wasn't impressive against the Broncos. Wasn't impressive in camp. Hasn't been impressive in camp. Just, and that's unfortunate. You know, that sucks. Really, it does, because you want this second round pick to make that jump. Now, what does Tony say? Football is meritocracy? Right? I hope so. Because if that's the case, a guy like a Deron Bland, who's been playing better than Kelvin Joseph, Nishan Wright, who was playing better than Kelvin Joseph in camp. Now, I think it evens out a bit. Once you look at that game, I don't think Nishan's game wasn't, 7 for 118 is not great. But he was active. He was around the ball. There were competitive opportunities. I just need to see him finish on those opportunities. I'm not going to ding Nishan that bad for one game. But I can't come away from camp preseason 1 and not include Deron Bland in the conversation for CB4 at this moment, Cowboys Nation. Can't do it. I think this cornerback battle has intensified even more after that, right? Because now the world's got a chance to kind of see Deron and not just hearing tweets and things like that. And the dude showed up. And I told you, there's only 1, 2, 3 of these things. There's only 3 preseason games. So when you show up in any of the 3, I think it's important. Now, if he can continue this momentum, I don't even think it's a question anymore. I think you do what you have to do. You put this man at cornerback 4, let him go out there and play special teams. And if you need him to go play the slot at some point, you feel good after what you saw. Now, he can come out week 2 and look terrible. But we ain't there yet. All I can go off of is what I've seen. And here's what makes Deron Bland, I hate to use the term head and shoulders above these guys, but above both of these dudes at the moment. He's extremely versatile. I did not see your comment, Professor O. Did I miss something? I'll try to find it. He's extremely versatile. Deron Bland played 24 snaps out wide, 24 snaps in the slot. Nashawn, Kelvin did neither. We've been wanting to see a Kelvin Joseph in the slot type of situation for last year and this year. Kelvin played 7 snaps in the slot last year. Didn't really play many snaps in the slot on Saturday. So there just seemed to be focusing him as a boundary guy. So not only is Deron playing better than these dudes, but he's also showing he's more versatile. Checkmate as of August 16th. So that cornerback battle has heated up, and I think that it might have taken a shift. At the very least, as we talked about yesterday, he deserves more opportunities because of what he's done in camp and what he did in the preseason game. Professor Rose says Kelvin could be the IR stash to save face to not have to cut him so quickly and run it back one more offseason, considering Lewis and Brown are both free agents next year. Very excellent point, Professor O. That could be one of those. Hey, Kelvin, your ankle hurt? Right? It could be one of those things in the eye arm. My only concern with that is I think you'll need him. When I say need him, I think, special teams, depth. I want to have a solid 6 guys on this roster. I do. And if I'm being honest, I know Nahshon Wright has been better in camp. He's popped more and everything like that. If you said, hey, Scott, you got to line up, you got to play. Do you want to run Nahshon out there? Or do you want to run Kelvin? I still want to run Kelvin. Because I saw Kelvin in real games last year at least hold his own weight. Not saying that Nahshon didn't. It's just he didn't have a ton of opportunities where Kelvin had more. So unless he's truly hurt, I still would keep him on the roster unless I can get a good trade for him. I'm not ready to cut Kelvin Joseph or anything like that. This is just purely about the roster battle, all right? Like, this isn't about cutting any of these guys. This is about where do they rank in the depth chart, who's earned to come up on that depth chart. And I think DaRon Bland has. Kelvin has been pretty stagnant. Unimpressive is the word I'm going to use. Not bad, just hasn't been impressive. Whereas Nahshon Wright at least has made plays in camp. Has been ultra competitive in camp. Kelvin just kind of been around, is all I'm saying. Makes sense for y'all? 2% chance is agent of the IR stash. Yeah, I don't, because then think about it. You stash him. Your cornerback room behind it loses some talent. I mean, Kelvin has talent. Yeah. You might have to count on CJ. King Element does not like Wright's hips. Hold on a minute, player. Shout out to Teddy Long. We need to put the best players on the field no matter where they get drafted. This is very true. This is very true. And I think we're kind of seeing that in camp. DaRon Bland has been getting opportunities, right? Other guys have been getting opportunities. Now, what I want to see is what happens with Tyler Smith and Connor McGovern. They asked Coach about this in the press conference, and he said they're going to continue to do the rotation. I thought Tyler Smith earned some more reps at left guard. Eventually, you got to settle in. You have a real meaningful football game in less than a month. If we're still getting to next week and y'all playing around with this, you could argue is a little bit of a malpractice. You gotta start getting ready. I digress. Man, long time no speak from our guy Los, man. What's goody, Los?
Good morning, Sky. I know it's been a long time.
Yes,
It's been on the grind.
Hey,
It's good to call in again, man.
gotta get that money.
And I know I usually stay on topic, Sky, but can I go on this rant real quick?
I haven't heard from you in a minute, man. Go ahead. Go on your rant, brother.
All right. First of all, I need all my Dak haters to owe an apology to yourself for lying to yourself, saying he's not a QB that doesn't belong in this league. Please. Any fucking team would want him, especially New York, because Cooper Rush, he ain't it, man. And Ben DiNucci looked better than Cooper, but that doesn't mean he's an NFL QB. And that only leaves Will Grier to show out and capture that backup.
Will Grier
From our roster depth chart, but we have now. If he's going to try to bank on the opportunity, success to him, because you know it, Sky. I don't know what is it about these Cowboys. They love the roster we have, basically in-house players. They never look for opportunities to sign others that have shown out in preseason, but I think we'll be fine because we want to prove to ourselves we're right. We know how to evaluate talent, which I'm not saying they don't. Let's be honest, guys. They have signed good players. It's just they never can make it possible. If you know what I'm trying to say. But the only thing about it is the last time I seen someone shown out in the preseason was none than Dak Prescott. And I'm gonna give you this number. His debut as a QB for the Dallas Cowboys against the Rams, his QBR was 154, 2 touchdowns, 139 yards, 83 83% completion rate. Now compare that to Ben and Nucci, it's a freaking joke. So let's be honest, guy. If we never drafted Dak, we'll probably be in consideration top 5 picks every year, you know?
Sure.
And you know, I'll say that. Now this whole offensive line thing, this whole system is going to be called for holding, offsides, etc. And I just want you to know, Cowboys, if this is based off play or is it based off scheme, time needed to run a play. Because if Kellen Moore is calling these plays that require time, don't be surprised if our offense is not it. Because we're probably going to be praying, you know, Tyron Smith doesn't go. Ouch. So, and if we put Josh Ball out there, oh boy. I mean, I feel bad for him. He's probably going to cause so many penalties, and you know, Mike McCarthy, he's probably just going to put his hand out like, that's fine. You know, we're fine running what we run. You know what I'm saying?
I hope this is the week that they make a decision on this. You know, I think they're going to give him another game for the Chargers. They're going to give him another scrimmage with the Chargers. It ain't going to be easy in that scrimmage. Okay, he's going to have Bosa and Mack and those guys rushing him, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. So he's got another shot at this, but you know, right now I don't know how people can be comfortable with Josh Ball being your backup at the moment.
Exactly, and I'll say this: Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith, Zach, and all these guys better be comfortable and physical to run the damn ball, because to even make the passing attack possible. Because Pollard and Zeke, especially Zeke, you ask your payday holding out, you haven't shown up since, and this might be your last year to do something about it. And you know, you wanted to be the lead back in the NFL. Here's your year, Zeke. Prove yourself. And I have my reasons why I don't like Zeke, but I'll leave you with this and I'll finish it off.
Sure.
Zeke, his cap year or his dead money for this year is $30 million. And that's the price we paid, you know, and that's the price we paid. Ever since then, since the running backs have not been paid, you know, we did not reset the market, Sky. We're still paying for our price that it's crazy, you know.
Yeah,
we put ourselves in this bind, and like Stephen Jones can talk all about money all he wants, but making these decisions that hold you out from signing players this year, I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah, the appreciation of his contract it's not been good over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll say that, but I mean, I still have faith in my team. DC for life, you know that, Sky.
Yes, sir.
You know, I live here in Dallas. I love this city. I feel this city needs a fucking championship. It's been so long. I mean, like, and the only fucking team that fucking is winning championships is considered cheating. I hate them.
Los is pissed. In closing, Los. In closing.
But yeah, bro, that's all I have to say, man. Cowboys better get it figured out, and let's go week 1, bro. I'm ready for Cowboys football.
My man, appreciate you, Los. Man, it's been a minute since we heard from Los. Appreciate him calling back in. The phone lines are lit this morning already, and of course, they're presented by the Cochran Firm. It's been the nation's premier personal injury, truck accident, and medical malpractice law firms. Their attorneys handle the most challenging civil cases that are handled on a contingent fee basis. This means their fee is solely based on a percentage of the money that they recover for you. Okay, so stop by the Cochran Firm's office in Dallas or Fort Worth or schedule your free consultation today at CochranFirm.com. Lo said, I'm going to finish this thing with some fire. Lemitra, I am nervous about our O-line. This is what me and Danny were talking about. Well, we weren't really talking about it yesterday, but a while ago. And somebody else asked me this question. And I'm going to keep on saying it. The starting unit, listen, healthy. I'm cool. When you look around the league, that is a solid unit. That is a unit that you should be able to get by. If you are banking on having a bunch of Pro Bowls across that line just to win in the playoffs, then you're in trouble. That's not the case. You need some coaching. You need your quarterback play. You need guys doing other things. But as a whole, I definitely think it's taken a step back from a depth standpoint. I think this risk factor that they're doing with, hey, let's go and Josh Ball. I hate to do this, but I blame my cousin. I blame Terrence Steele. We had a whole discussion on this months ago. I don't know if you guys remember this. I personally think that the reason why they're going the way they're going with the young offensive line movement and swing tackle is because of Terrence Steele. The success that he had last year as the swing tackle, right? As the swing tackle. Before that, they would notoriously go out and get a veteran swing. The Nasekis of the world, the Byron Bells, the Cam Irvings, the Cam Flemings, They went out and got all these guys. And it's sandwiched in the middle of the debacle that was Chaz Green. Chaz Green was drafted in the 3rd round to be the swing tackle, right, to Tyron Smith after he started getting a little dinged up. That did not work. They said, we're doing away with the young guy mid-round draft pick tackle. We're going to sign veterans. And I would say they had decent success in that. Were these guys great? No. But these guys, most of them were serviceable to an extent. I thought Cam Irving was the best of the bunch. Then Terrence happened, right? Terrence Steele had to get thrown in there like that in year 1, earn some reps. Guys in that locker room, coaches like what they saw and said, I think we might be on to something in year 2. Ain't start off great, right? Like preseason camp was not the greatest of the world, but there was those traits that you saw that they liked. They decided to roll with him, and it paid off for them. And that's when they said, we don't need a Ty Nsekhe. Let me tell you how they hedged their bets, though. They still had Ty Nsekhe. I said, we don't need a Ty Nsekhe. We don't need a Byron Bell. We don't need any of these guys. We got a Josh Ball. We'll draft a Matt Waletzko. We'll get arrogant. Well, Matt Waletzko came in hurt. Now he's hurt. Josh Ball, we didn't know what we had in Josh Ball. Now we're seeing it ain't all that great. We're less than a month away from the season, and we know Tyron's going to say ouch at some point. So I blame Terrence Steele. All right, let's get to the second portion of our roster battles, which I thought deserved some attention after Saturday. Now, Ryan Nall's not going to be a part of this equation because he's gone. But Rico Dowdle versus Malik Davis, and I guess I could have put Aaron Shamklin here, but I'm not because I still think he's more of your scat type back, and if anything, he more favors Tony Pollard. Whereas I think these two guys favor, if Zeke were to go down, you can give them the rock a little bit. And I think that's more important. Plus, I think they can play special teams, whereas Shamklin is he's a little dude. But just not to dismiss Shampklin's day. He had a solid day, as did all these guys. But Rico, while Malik, and we'll get to him in a second, had a fantastic day on Saturday. I still think Rico might be the leader in the clubhouse. But, again, this battle has intensified tenfold. On Saturday, he had, speaking of Rico, 9 carries, 36 yards, 4 yards per carry. And he was the guy kind of start the game off and get most of the reps out there. But Malik, I think, deserves to kind of get some spotlight because he ran well. Now, was it him just making everybody miss, trucking everybody? No, not necessarily. But production is production, right? 8 carries, 51 yards, 6.4 yards per carry. Had 3 receptions for 16 yards, right? I mean, you get over 60 yards on 9 touches in the preseason game, that sticks out. When you have a long of 16 yards, that sticks out. I think that's deserving, right? It's all about taking advantage of your opportunities and getting back to the drawing board and saying, well, what did this guy do when he got his opportunities? If he succeeded in those, then if it is about competition and the best man and whatever, then he deserves more opportunities. And I think that's what Malik Davis did. So this RB3 position, while I still do think it's Rico's, I don't think it's as cut and dry, right? I don't think it's as cut and dry. This may be an important position later down the line. We don't know. We've dealt with dinged up backs the last 2 years. So this position may be important. I thought I thought Clement looked good in his little opportunities he got last year. And Dallas had a whole bunch of backs that were calling up in regards to Greg Hardy. You had Clement, who was the third guy, and then obviously TP and Zeke. So still got Rico in the lead, but Malik Davis deserves to get a little bit more opportunities to see if he can be that guy. Malik was that dude in college, but much like Rico, dealt with some injuries, then dealt with competition, didn't get a lot of touches his senior year. They love these little dinged up backs, apparently, coming out of college. But Malik, to me, feels more of a guy you can lean on if you needed to run the rock, because that's what he did prior to starting to split carries at Florida. Rico was the dude at South Carolina. He was that guy. But he's also kind of an injury guy as well. So you kind of got to monitor these two. But it's RB3 we're talking about. But I think this deserves to be put in the forefront here. What you guys got to say about Rico, Malik, and Shamklin? I think I'm messing up his name, but well, I didn't put him on there because I think he's more of a scat back. Malik runs with patience. He does. Somebody called in yesterday and was talking about comparing Malik Davis to Le'Veon Bell. Thought that was interesting. Why, Scott? Why you say that, Toxic? Y'all so wrong. Jay Lombardi said Josh Ball is a Caucasian Chaz Green. Man, y'all rough. Y'all rough. That was his first game. I think it might be talking about Josh. I don't know. I do like Rico's shiftiness as well. 6 to midnight. I think he has some pop to him. Danny, boy, I swear, how old are you, Danny? As I said earlier, brother, I will get back to you this week on the date of the draft. I mean, you can continue to spam the chat. It's not going to get you an answer. All right. I got to make sure first of all, we got to make sure we get enough people for the draft. Number one. Number two, we have to come to a date where all you guys are available. So, as well as our other guy was part of this thing. So, hold your horses, bro. I got you. I'm glad you told me you the guru for fantasy because, What's good, B? We got B on the horn, by the way.
What's
Cowboys
good, my G?
What's up with you?
Oh man, nothing, man. Just tapping in. Hey, seeing you talking about this RB3 battle, man, and just to kind of piggyback off some of the things you said, my G. I like Malik Davis, man, for some of the reasons that you said. Like, if Zeke go down, Malik, I have no problem asking Malik Davis to carry the ball 20 times with Tony Pollard's 10 to 12, because he's built for that. If you get the other kid, Dowdle, and you put him and Tony Pollard in a game, I think from a body type standpoint, I don't think you're beating up on no defense. I think Rico might wear down before the defense is. Him and Tony Pollard.
Well, interesting, though.
Malik Davis is that guy. Go ahead.
Rico's a bigger back, much bigger. He's got about roughly 15 pounds on him.
But it don't look like it. But it don't look like but it doesn't look like he carries that weight like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I look at Malik Davis, maybe it's because he's low to the ground.
Yeah. Malik he's sub 6 feet, and he's kind of wide, right? And he's not that fast. Yeah. So he has to rely on his patience. He has to rely on leverage. He's kind of and I'm not saying he runs like Zeke, but you know how Zeke knows I'm not going to beat you with my burst. Zeke knows I'm going to beat you with reading my blocks, making sure I'm coming off the tackle or the guard's butt, right? And I'm dipping my shoulder and getting extra yards and pushing through. He plays bigger than his size. I'm just saying, because Malik is I think Malik is kind of a blur in a way. It looks like I'm just trying to get to the spot as fast as I can, and it doesn't look as strong. So I get what you're saying. I feel you.
Yeah, and I just feel like the upside, it's more, I believe, if this kid goes out and has a good game, the Cowboys like to pull that mess where they like to hide them players, and they will not play them in that last game because they don't want to give a team another opportunity to check them out, and the Cowboys will try to hide them players so they can get them back on the practice squad. And he's one player that I believe that if he gets cut, he's not making it back to the practice squad. But for some reason, I think if you cut Rico, I think he would for some reason. And it's not because, he had more yards in him. There's just something about that Malik Davis kid, man, that I just like.
And
You know what I'm saying? The
I feel you.
upside,
There's
the upside there.
there's players like that on the roster. Every year we're like, man, I don't know if they're gonna make it. It happens. You know what I'm saying? They get
Right.
cut, they don't get picked up. Maybe they do get picked up, but I don't think there's an enormous gap here. I think both of these guys at this point in time,
Right.
it's RB3, and it's two guys that I don't think are guys that are going to carry loads for the Cowboys anyway. So now you got to look at kind of the nuances and the little things. The other thing you got to take into account about Rico is that he was a damn good special teams player for Bones Fossil 2 years ago. So, I don't know what Malik looks like as a special teams guy. So those are just roster building things that you have to add on. That's one of the main reasons why Rico, to me, is still favored. But if Malik comes out and looks better the next 2 games and Rico, starts to regress, then Rico kind of jumps, right? Or not Rico. Malik jumps over him. But it's one of those things. These guys aren't far apart, in my opinion.
Man, have you ever seen a special teams coach that have so much pull on the roster? I don't think I've ever seen a special
I wasn't
teams
around
coach,
in the
man,
90s.
that I can.
What was rest in peace to Joe? I forget. Was it Joe? I forget his last name, but I'd imagine he had a lot.
Joe Avazano.
Thank you,
Joe Avazano.
I'd imagine he had some. But no, I don't follow every other team.
Yeah, man, it just seems like whenever you hear Broadus or somebody talking about, some guys, he always refer to Bones Fossil, and I'll be like, damn.
It's the down roster guys, right? Like it's not ever the starters. It's RB3. You have to play special teams.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying, like in general, sometimes I'll be like, damn, we worried about special teams for him.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, look at the bro. I see. This is where I don't hate to use this kind of comparison, but just hear me out. Vosh likes to say, don't get numb to greatness, and I'm doing a poor man's version of this. Don't get numb to the success that Bones has given you from a special team standpoint. I think he has earned the right to say, hey, I like this guy on special teams. If you can find a way to keep him, cool. If not, whatever. But Bones has turned, are we forgetting 2019, 2018? I mean, terrible special teams. Field position flipping was crazy in those years. And Bones got here, and your special teams unit was top 10. You had an all-pro punter last year, right? You had a couple kick return touchdowns, kick return touchdown from Tony Pollard. Malik Turner ended up being a key special teams guy. CJ Goodwin has turned into one of the best special teams guys in the league. I mean, I think he's earned it. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's fair. I respect that, that opinion and that view of it. My last thing is, the offense line in that run game, man, was how big I am on that zone blocking scheme. It seemed like I saw a lot of that on
Saturday
in the preseason game. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that zone blocking scheme, that running scheme, man. It seemed like a lot of the big runs, the chunk runs, came from zone blocking plays. And I was just like,
I love
is
the
this
zone.
what we running now?
I love it.
Man, I love the zone. I love that. It doesn't require your offense to line to be as dominant physically rather than movement and technique.
Mm-hmm.
And just understanding what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you got to put a hat on a hat and just knock somebody on the ass. But from a zone blocking standpoint, man, the teams, to me, other than Tennessee, those teams run that zone blocking scheme that are top in the league. Minnesota, Cincinnati, and
Cincy wasn't that great
49ers.
last year, but I get what you're saying. Ooh. Cincinnati's run game was not great last year. They ranked towards I think about in the 20s or something like that. But they got a good running back. Yeah,
but who's up there? Their offensive line, is it
No, I know
what.
No, he's in Cleveland. I think that's where you were going to.
No, not him. The other one, the one after him. I forget his name.
Oh,
like Broadus.
I think Alexander. He does look like Broadus.
Pollard looks like Broadus, bro. You know he do.
Either you talking about Frank Pollard or the Alexander guy.
Yeah,
Frank
Pollard.
You sure
Frank
it's
Pollard.
not the Alexander
Yeah.
guy, the ketchup dude?
No, it's Frank Pollard, because that was one of the reasons that Lyle went up there, because he had that previous relationship with him.
Yeah, I think the offensive line coach there actually coached him in LSU, if I'm not mistaken. But
oh man,
I don't.
that's funny.
Here, let me say this: what I noticed at camp that I did not see in the preseason game. There's I don't know if it's called a muddle huddle or whatever you want to call this kind of quick tempo up, to get to the line, they snap it right away thing. They were doing that a lot at camp, like a lot. And then we got to preseason and they kind of put that in a tuck. And I'm wondering if we see a different version of this offense this year. I wonder if Kellen Moore went back to the drawing board and switched some things up. We're seeing a lot more 20 personnel. Didn't see a lot of it in preseason because I don't think you will. I don't think you're going to see him show everything. We saw a lot of 20 personnel. We saw a lot of horizontal stuff because I don't think they have the vertical threats at the moment right now. But you saw a lot of things side to side. You do see the line moving a little bit. I hope they get back under center a little bit more. It was a lot of shotgun stuff, but they're doing install, so I don't know if that's something that they'll do when we're not there, right? I will say this about Kellen, and we won't know until the season starts, and we really won't know till December. Something feels different about the offense. I can't quite put my finger on it. I even asked Will Greer at camp. I said, man, I've been watching this. I've been watching you guys, and I just can't quite get a finger on what this Kellen Moore system is. But is it a challenging system for quarterbacks? And he was like, oh, yeah. It requires the quarterback to do a lot at the line of scrimmage. But when you have a guy like Dak Prescott and you start praising Dak and things like that. So, Kellen seems to have tweaked something. He seemed to tweak something.
Is it Kellen or did Mike
McCarthy
get involved? Did he get involved? That's what Jerry Jones said. We're going to pull everything out of Mike McCarthy. And, you know what I'm saying? And if he did, good. You know what I'm saying? That's what your head coach is supposed to do. He should have did it at the end of last year instead of letting the offense sink.
You're right.
But that's another story.
You're right, bro.
So maybe Mike McCarthy put some kind of influence on there, even if he just helped him tweak this or helped him tweak that. You know what I'm saying? But
that's something that if I had access again, I would ask Kellen, hey, what is the influence that Mike McCarthy has had on you this offseason?
Yeah, that's a good question to ask, man. All right, G, I'm going to let you go, man. I just wanted to tap in for a few minutes, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, B, as always.
My dog.
Good stuff from B. Good conversation right there. What's good, Shaq, the Vikings fan? Since we got you in here, let me ask you something real quick. I was doing a top 5 rushing attacks earlier in the offseason, trying to just get some content out. I actually had fun with that. And I had listed the Vikings in there, and then after the show or during the show, I'm like, man, maybe I should have put the Packers. Because are y'all going to even be a running team this year? Because your boy came out, Justin Jefferson, and was like, hey, man, we all happy because we're not going to be running the ball that much. And y'all notoriously had that Kubiak scheme. I believe, is a Kubiak still running this? I don't think so, right? But y'all had that Kubiak scheme where what B was talking about, right? That zone blocking situation. Because if not, then I don't know if I fear the running game as much. Because we did pretty decent against it last year anyway. But that's just a question I wanted to ask you, Shaq. Are you guys going to be more of a passing team or back to the ground game? Satellite Sunny. And I'm trying to get to, I see a lot of questions in here. I try to get to them at the end, but as they go, there's some questions I'd like to get to as well. Hey, Sky, do you think Houston becomes Dak's new favorite target over Tolbert? I don't necessarily know that Tolbert has become a favorite target of Dak. Dak's favorite target, make no mistake about it, is CD Lamb. Has Dak been praising Dennis Houston? Sure. This is what the unfortunate thing is. We're never going to get a read on Dennis Houston, Tolbert, any of these guys in preseason because they're not playing with Dak. So it's going to be about what do we see at camp, which now we're not there anymore until August 23rd, 24th, which I'll be down there and I'll be reporting back what I see. And during these inner scrimmage practices, these joint practices, which hopefully we get some more connection there. I didn't see too many Dak to Dennis Houston connections against the Chargers. So, no, I don't think he'll be his new favorite target. You're asking, will he jump over Tolbert? Not quite ready to go there. I thought, and I said this, I think Tolbert's going to separate himself in preseason. Not off to a great start. We'll see what happens. Dennis didn't get many opportunities. He got 2 targets, 1 reception. But again, it's going to be hard to get a read. It's going to be hard. Trey, what's good? He says, Sky, what you doing with the live game watch? Same with Jesse. Yes. So, I can start promoting that. Y'all family, I could drop this right now. I was going to do a whole little drop. Whatever. We will figure it out. I'll do a promo for it. We are officially, a little nervous. We will officially be back at Texas Live, Game Day Lives with your boy and Jesse Holly. We'll have the information. I think we'll still be at Revolver, but I'll drop the promo. I'll do all that stuff. So I'm excited for that. I had a great time with that last year. So yes, we'll be doing that. All right. Let me get back into the horn and then I'm gonna come back out. I got 2 more position groups. I might only do really 1 position group, but 2 more position groups to get to. I believe this is my guy, Mel.
What up, King?
Yeah, see, I'm remembering the number now. I can't change the name, but I remember the number. What's good, bro?
Remember, you see that 213?
Yes, sir.
Man, hey, congratulations, bro, on being an official member of the media, man. I swear, hey, when you asked that question, it was like all of us asked it. We was all there with you, bro. So that was a big moment right there, man.
That's
and
dope.
That's not to be downplayed at all, man. That was hella dope, bro. So congratulations on that, man. And I was like, man, my boy done took it from the YouTube to the big stage in a very short period of time, man. So congratulations, big work on that. I haven't had a chance to call in and tell you that, man, but that was real big right there, bro.
Thank you, fam. Appreciate that. It was a nerve-wracking moment, but we got through it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I wanted to comment on the cornerback battle, bro.
Okay.
Looking at it, man, I think the question really is, first of all, corner is a difficult position to play, and it does take some time unless you really just like an elite player. None of these 3 guys are elite players.
Sure.
I think we were hoping Kelvin was better than what he's shown so far, but it don't seem to be going that way. But I think all of these guys really need development. Even if we look at Diggs' rookie year to Diggs' second year, I mean, it's a huge jump. But he had a lot of struggles in that first year. Like, he made some plays, and we saw him flash some talent, but he had a lot of struggles in that rookie year. But what we did see, we saw his ability to compete.
Yes.
And we saw his ability to, we would say this all the time. Hey, he was right there, though. That was the thing with Diggs. He was always right there.
And Diggs made plays in his rookie year.
He did make plays.
Yeah.
He did make plays. Even watching Wright the other night, it wasn't just like he was getting completely burnt, or it wasn't just like, he was blowing coverages or
he was competitive,
tripping over his own feet. He was right. He was the same thing. He was right there. He just wasn't making plays on the ball, or it was a couple of times he was like, he should have been on this side of the man. Instead, he was on this side of the man. It was just little things like that he kind of wasn't doing. I think the real question with these 3 guys is, if one of those 3 starters were to have to sit down for a game, or 2, who do you feel most comfortable could go in the game and really just not get completely picked on for 4 quarters? And I think if you were to ask me that question right now, I probably would lean Kelvin.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing earlier in the show, bro. I said if I had to go into a game at this moment and play one of those dudes, maybe and I don't have a crazy reason aside from I saw Kelvin in a few games last year, and it was okay. It was fine. It wasn't like he was getting torched or anything. I said I would probably still lean more towards Kelvin. That was
my same reason.
Now, if Nahshon Wright came out on Saturday and played better, play like Deron Bland, maybe that changes a bit. But that would
definitely change things.
Yeah.
If I'm the Cowboys coaching staff right now, I really want to see Deron Bland play 1 unit up, because to me, I think preseason it's all about individual play. You're not looking for how well we're gelling as a team. You're looking for people like DeRon Bland that's popping off the screen.
Right.
Like, you're looking for somebody who looks like, hey, I really just don't belong out here with these guys. Like, I need to be with the starters. I felt like DeRon Bland kind of proved that with his play. I would love to see him get some reps against some ones, so you can see, hey, maybe DeRon Bland is a guy, if we're in a pinch, we can put in there. Because I think at this point he's proven, at least so far, that he's better than the group he's playing with. That's my opinion.
And it's carried over from camp too, right? Like what I don't want to do, and this is what I said on Vach's show, I don't think any of this is overreaction, and here's why. Because these are things that have been happening in camp, and when I say any of this, I was talking about Bohanna was getting a lot of praise on Saturday. Bohanna was doing well in camp. DeRon Bland went off; he was doing well in camp. Kelvin Joseph has kind of been just there, that he's kind of just been there at camp. So these are kind of things that have been carried over from camp to the preseason game. So I don't think there is an overreaction here.
I don't either. And I feel like at this point you got to see DeRon Bland against some fire, so you can either you can get more comfortable with him, or you can say, well, he's kind of over here. But right now I think he's proven that he needs to be seeing the same competition that Wright and that Kelvin Joseph are seeing when it comes to these preseason games. He needs to be seeing the same fire.
But here's the thing. He is. Like he's out there. Okay. He's out there with them. Now the question becomes: do you want to see him on the boundary first? Because he started in the slot first. So maybe what you want to do is, okay, DeRon Bland, let's put you out there in goal line situations to go play out on the boundary and see if they test you with a jump ball. Well, they did that. DeRon Bland had a one-on-one opportunity down at the goal line, and he just blanketed his man. The quarterback rolled out and tried to find somebody else. And if DeRon Bland got beat, they would have threw it to him. He didn't get beat. So, he's out there with those dudes. He's just not playing one position like those dudes, which is why I think, if we're being honest, just based off of camp, based off of preseason, he's the more versatile guy. I don't know if I'm quite ready to jump the gun. An overreaction would be, hey, let's throw DeRon Bland out there to start, or I'm ready to throw DeRon Bland out there into the fire week 1 if something happens to the other guys. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think I'm there just yet. But it ain't gonna take much to get me there though, Mel. It is not going to take me much.
I need to see more preseason though.
Sure, I do too. I need to see more. I need to see more in the preseason. I want to continue to hear about him doing well in camp. But it ain't gonna take much longer. If he does this again, I mean, he was extremely impressive. If he does this again, I might be ready to go ahead and overreact. And then if it don't work out, I'll come back here and say that my bad. But it ain't gonna take much. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, my last one, man. Then I'm gonna let you go. I'm really starting to pick up your term, coaching malpractice.
Man,
coaching malpractice. This Tyler Smith thing that's going on here, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, bro.
I don't either.
There's no way right now. If you felt that Connor McGovern was good enough to start, you should have never drafted Tyler Smith. You obviously felt there was a hole at that position, and that's why you drafted Tyler Smith. And some might say that you overdrafted, or
I'm sitting here watching the highlights as you talk, and just Tyler Smith's punch is just ridiculous.
These two dudes is not the same. They're not in the same league. They're not in the same league. And for whatever reason, they are trying to, I don't know if they're trying to make him earn it but he is earning it. Like there's really no logical answer for why he is not running with the ones or why he is sharing reps. We need Tyler Smith to be ready for Tampa Bay. Yeah. That's period, point blank. He's not doing that, sharing reps with somebody you have no plans for. You have no plans for Connor McGovern.
It was all good just a week ago, right? Like it's all good in camp. It's all good leading up to preseason 1. It's all good. After you get out of that, if you got really good tape from your first round pick at that position, I think you should start prepping to have him play where you want him to play. And let's be honest, you got real good tape from Connor McGovern at right guard. Connor McGovern is what he is. He's a right guard. Like, I think
he's a right guard.
I think because the league is a versatile league now, we all want, everybody to play multiple positions. And listening to Big Duke, man, that's just not the case with everybody. Not everybody can do that, So, and maybe Connor McGovern is just more natural and fitting at right guard. And we know that Tyler Smith has played on the left side, so it's not a big deal to slide inside one. In fact, I think it was going to help mitigate his weaknesses. So we got the competition. I personally think that Tyler Smith won the left guard competition. Now let's get ready, and so he can be connected with Tyron Smith and Tyler Biadasz and Dak Prescott as the season goes, because there's going to be miscommunication. We saw it in the game, right? There's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be growing pains. Get them shits out the way now.
Do you think this is an organizational thing or a coaching thing with this staff? Because I feel like, bro, we saw the same thing, not maybe to this extent, but we saw the same thing last year with Micah. And I know I brought it up before, but it's like Micah should have never been coming off the field last year so somebody else could come on the field. Never, at no point. I don't care what situation it is. Oh, we want to put him in the run or the pass, whatever. He should have never been coming off the field. But we were seeing that last year, and it's like this, let's try to get everybody to play. Like, bro, everybody could play, but he going to stay on the field. You can rotate around him. And it's like, I don't know if this is an organizational thing or if it's a coaching thing.
I think this is actually normal. I think unless you are so depleted at a position, like extremely depleted, then yeah, your first round pick is going to play. But you usually see the first round guy kind of get worked in, especially in that. We saw that with LVE. He did the same thing. He didn't start it his first year. Granted, probably should have, because what's the name was going to get hurt, and he did. But I think it's normal to have your first round pick get worked in. Is it normal that they're still getting worked in a week out of the season? Probably not. That's why I think this is the week where I hope we see a separation. I'm not quite ready to slam them yet, but if we get to next week and they're still like, hey, man, 50-50 reps and things like that, then I'm going to be super confused, because I've seen good tape out of the Denver game. I've seen good tape from Connor at right guard. I would like to keep it that way. But if we get to next week and the following week and we're still doing this, then, yeah, Mel, it'll be time to hit kind of, I don't want to say a panic button, but hit the problematic button.
Yeah, or the what WTF button, man. But anyway, brother, man, hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm glad you're back. We had a couple of mornings without you, then we didn't know what to do with ourselves, man. So it's definitely glad to have the show back, brother.
I appreciate you, Mel. Half the damn time I don't know what to do after that when I get up and I'm like, I got a show today. Weird.
Yes, sir. All right, peace, King.
All right, fam. Yeah, I'm hoping this is the week. The week of separation. Tyler Smith got it up under his belt. He got the jitters out. I thought it was encouraging. And maybe it's because over the years, I've just really started to like O-line play. And I like the tape. I thought it was fun. His pop is crazy. Jesus, pop is crazy. Yeah, I was going to do 4. I was going to do 4 position groups. The one position group is kind of boring, but I thought it was worthy. But this one is not. So I'm going to get to my last position group, and then we'll finish on the lines. We got Kareem, we got Reek, so hold tight, y'all. I just want to get to this final position group. And that is, if I can pull it up, my apologies. Y'all know me. I'm my own producer, man. I'm my own producer. Where the hell did it go? Huh. I could have sworn I put this in here, y'all. This isn't the position group that I'm putting up right now. Ain't the one I want to put up. Here we go. There we are. And that is the linebacker battle. And if you guys remember, we talked about this a while ago, the fatal 4-way for linebacker 4. And I say 4 because Jabril Cox, I think, is going to be 2 or 3, LVE, and then Michael Parsons, right? So you had Luke Gifford, Devin Harper, Malik Jefferson, Story Jackson. This is an honest question, and this is not good by me for not recognizing this, but where the hell 57 been? Now at practice, the one practice he didn't play. He didn't practice. He got hurt, and that's probably why he didn't see him after that. Didn't hear much about Luke prior to that. Can't say the same for Devin Harper, Malik Jefferson, and Story Jackson, though. Can't say the same for these guys. And what I mean is, let's kind of just go in this order here. Devin Harper. He was athletic. He was kind of flying around and out there and showing that, you know, hey, I am that 4.5 or whatever it was guy that you saw on tape and you saw at in his pro day or whatnot, or the combine. You saw those traits. That's the thing about preseason. I want to see, can I see your traits translate? You saw that with Devin Harper. Didn't get a bunch of tackles, but he is around the ball a lot. Very active. Malik Jefferson, here's what I found interesting. And I don't know if this was because Luke wasn't out there, but if you go look at who got first up, it was a guy the Cowboys just signed. He's no rookie, though. He's been around the league for a long time. He's on like his sixth team, but he's also not devoid of talent. Malik Jefferson was flying around out there as well. He made he had a really good rep that I almost wanted to clip out as I was putting together story stuff and show you guys. Malik Jefferson looked like a veteran, which he is. He's a veteran. He finished the night with 3 tackles, 1 solo. Christian Sam had some production in that game, 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. But the guy that I thought stood out the most was Story Jackson. All right, let's go back to Story Jackson. So, Story Jackson showed the traits that you saw on tape translate to the field. And we talked about that earlier with Devin Harper, but I thought he did it at a better clip than Devin Harper. Hilarious when I go back and see this. I'm definitely going to clip this out. But I thought you saw the speed. I thought you saw play recognition. I thought you saw some burst. And I was impressed with his coverage ability. Again, I'm going to try if y'all heard this. I'm going to try. I thought you saw his coverage ability. He was comfortable in zone. I thought he recognized some of the flat. This is the hit right here I was talking about when y'all couldn't hear me. You saw him lay the boom. He just had an overall impressive day at the office. So Story Jackson deserves to kind of get this spotlight. And another thing I said when this music was loud was that I reached out to him to kind of get his overall feel of how he felt after the game. And he was just basically saying, I'm just getting started. And I might have already said this part to y'all, what is encouraging about this is that you don't get a chance to see this stuff at practice. Linebackers can't hit running backs. They can't hit the receivers. They can't hit the quarterback. All they can do is roll up on them and then pull up. And it's hard to get a read on these linebackers. So all you have is the preseason on some of these young dudes. And Story Jackson led the team, or was second on the team. And let's be real, Nashawn Wright had 7 tackles, but a lot of that was because he had 7 receptions caught on him. So aside from Nashawn, I think that Story Jackson, I know Story Jackson led the team in tackles, and he had a tackle for loss as well on the goal line. So overall, great, really good game, good showing, debut from Story Jackson. Devin Harper also popped, and Malik Jefferson popped. My question was going to be until the music just blasted over me. I am so sorry, y'all. Are you ready to put these guys over Luke Gifford? Are you ready to throw Luke Gifford kind of off the cliff and roll with the Young Bucks? I'm going to just go ahead and say yeah. If it's about putting out speed, if it's about putting out guys that's going to pop behind your top 3, your LVEs, your let's just be real. If you look at the room, right? This is the room right here. Let's just say you got Micah, you got Jabril Cox, Devin Harper, Malik Jefferson, Story Jackson. Hell, you could throw Christian in there if you want. I'm just saying, look at the room. Look around the room. Then sometimes you're going to have J-Ron come down. Sometimes you're going to have Marquise Bell come down. You tell me who the damn odd man out is. You tell me who the odd man out is. It's Luke Gifford. Hell, you can argue LVE too, but at the very least, it's Luke Gifford. So I'm kind of ready to again. Yesterday's show we mentioned how today was going to be about who earned more reps, who earned their way up to take reps from somebody. Deron Bland earned more reps to take away from Deshaun Wright and Kelvin Joseph. Story Jackson, Malik Jefferson, Devin Harper earned more reps to take away from Luke Gifford. Malik Davis, Shampton earned more reps to take away from Rico. These aren't saying these guys are done. I'm just saying they deserve more opportunities to showcase their way onto this team. That's all I'm saying. But it looks like a lot of y'all are ready to kind of move on from Luke. My bad, y'all. I see this is what happens when you get a solo guy here. All right, let me get to, I said I'm going to get to Kareem, and then we got Reek, and we're going to go ahead and head out and end the show. We on good time today, man. What's up, Kareem from Delaware? Is it Delaware?
What's up, guys?
Hello, check. I got you. It's Kareem from Delaware, right?
Yeah, Delaware, but really from Philly, though. What's up, Sky?
What's good with you, man?
Real quick one, I like Story. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the name, Story Jackson or what, but I like Story. If he could do some special teams things, I like him.
He will.
Being at depth off the bench to spells, probably like let LVE take a break and let Story play first down. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I feel like he can attack the line of scrimmage or attack the runner. Like, I like Story Jackson. I like him. I think he's gonna make the team. I hope he do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. See, here's the thing about it. When I point out these guys, I'm not quite ready to jump to that conclusion just yet. I think it was a fantastic debut. Now I just got to build on top of it, right? Let's build on top of it.
I just hope, I hope he can build on top of it and make the team. I like him.
I do as well.
Another thing, I was looking at our roster, looking at the Cowboys roster, looking at the depth chart. Now, don't get me wrong. On paper, last year we was this number one offense, and wide receivers was all this. Not just 2 seconds. We're going to miss Coop. There's no doubt about that. That's over and done with. He's going. He's not coming back. We're going to miss Coop. But I do like our receiving core. I like it. I don't know what it's going to be to the extent of who's going to be our 1, 2, 3, but it's going to depend on if Dak can be what he's supposed to be as far as making a receiver. This is the year Dak is going to have to make some receivers. CD don't need to be made. He's going to have to make 1 or 2 receivers, whether it's Jalen Tolbert.
You said this is the year. You said this is the year as if said Wilson doesn't exist. As if Michael Gallup wasn't a third-round wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't new to Dak. What might be new is that he's dealing with a bunch of young guys that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just more than ever. Well, he had a veteran receiver. He had veteran receivers. What, the last 2-3 years? How long was Coop there? 3-4 years, right? 4 years.
Sure, but Michael Gallup was a year 2 guy. I wouldn't consider him a veteran, and he had a 1,000-yard receiving season with Dak Prescott as a third-round pick.
What I mean is I just feel like he's going to have to dig in and just make another receiver. Like, he's going to have to, whether it be Jalen Tolbert or Houston, one of those guys. And I feel like both of those guys have the potential to be a solid receiver. I'm not saying 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, just solid receivers. I feel like they could be solid receivers for the first maybe month of the season until our receiving core is healthy.
I ain't, man. I can't fake it. I can't fake it, man. I cannot fake it. I am not. I don't know that this is a solid receiving core without Michael Gallup and James Washington. Individually, these guys have did some good things in camp. As a whole, I cannot come on here and tell you I feel good about it to start the first 3 games of the season. They're going to have to go out there and show it to me. Now, once Michael Gallup gets back, and that bumps everybody down, that helps a little bit. Once James Washington gets back, that bumps everybody down, that helps a little bit. But I feel
100%.
Ooh, I feel a little queasy going into week 1 and week 2, maybe week 3, and your wide receiver 2s are Dennis Houston, Jalen Tolbert, and Noah Brown and Simi. Individually, these guys have done good in camp. But when it comes to the team aspect, and we saw it again on Saturday, which is not really their fault, but it just hasn't been clicking like that. Now, Dak to CD,
they also didn't play with Dak. They also didn't play with Dak on Saturday, and I had to look at myself and say that, like, what is he doing out here? Like, come on.
Yeah, but my point was, even in camp during team, the connection hasn't been some amazing connection, is what I'm saying. I think what's happening with what people are doing is we see a clip, right, of Simi. By the way, again, I think Simi has earned. He's a guy that I think, another one I could have put up here. He's earned more reps with Dak Prescott. I think you need to see it. But we'll see a clip of Vasher mossing somebody. TJ Vasher hasn't been a consistent receiver at camp, but he got a highlight play. We'll see a clip of Dennis Houston making a very routine catch, and then you hear Dak say, hey, man, he's been where I need him to be. But it's not like Dennis Houston has done anything to wow anybody. He's just kind of – it's to the point where the bar is so low, we are excited that Dennis Houston's just in the right spot. And then we look at Noah Brown. Noah Brown has made – he's been right there with Simi as a guy who's been one of the most consistent guys out there. Tolbert, he's said it. Hey, man, I'm a rookie. I'm learning. Those guys are helping me. And you see that he's learning. He hasn't really had this amazing connection with Dak either. In team – when these things all come together, it's been Dak and CD Lamb. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
I hear that. Well, and this is going to be my closing argument. And,
sure.
I'm going to let somebody else get on, and I'm going to let you finish up the show. By the way, I love that picture that you took with Dak and posted on your Twitter. I love it. I wish I was squeeze myself in the middle of that picture, but I love that picture.
Yeah, that was a moment, man. It's funny. I never really told you. There's a lot of stories I got to tell you about my trip down there, but that was funny because that was the day I had the media pass, and I'm walking to go talk to Miss Sharice. Shout out to Miss Sharice if she's watching, Micah's mom, and Dak's walking by, and it's the last practice, so he's kind of giving everybody, the fans. He signed a lot of autographs, and I was basically telling Dak, "Hey man, good practice today," and so I tapped him on his shoulder pad and kept it moving. Right? Like, I'm not one of those guys. And then as I'm keeping it moving, I hear Dak go, yo. And so when I turn around, Dak turns around at the same time. I'm like, damn, I missed my opportunity to go have a conversation with Dak. But you know what? I ain't going to be that guy. Everybody watching me. I ain't want to look stupid. Like, oh, hey, Dak, come here. So I let Dak go do his thing. I went and talked to the family over there, and then ended up making my way back down. And saw Dak was still there, and that's when I pulled him to the side and was like, hey, man, good, not say good friends, but know this, I know that, good stuff today, yada, yada. And Pat was like, you don't want to get Pat? I say, Pat, can you take this pic? And then he took the picture with me and Dak, and that was that. So it was funny how it happened. It almost didn't happen.
Well, I'm glad you got a chance to take it.
And there she goes. Miss Sharice is in the chat. See, she be listening to the show.
All right, so my closing argument is real quick. Like I said, I'm not going to say that we have an awesome receiving core. I feel like the first month of the season is going to come down to two things, maybe three. It's going to come down to discipline. We got to get rid of these penalties or get them minimized. We got to get rid of these penalties. These self-inflicted wounds that's been costing us games for years, self-inflicted wounds. And we have to really see how creative, whether it's Mike McCarthy or whether it's Kellen Moore, you're going to have to get creative the first month of the season with a young receiving core and our top guys not being healthy. Those two things, we got to minimize those penalties a lot. I'm talking about a lot. Minimize those penalties a lot because we've beaten ourselves, and we got to see how effective Mike McCarthy or Kellen Moore can be as far as calling offensive plays to make Dak comfortable and make these young guys feel comfortable. Like, it just has to be that way.
Yeah, at the very least, the penalties, man, you got to be able to control what you can control. You can control offside. You can control false start. You can control boneheaded, taunting penalties and things like that. If you can at least get those under wraps, maybe you can get through the other BS calls that may happen to you. So I'm with you, man.
All right, thanks, guys. Great show, man.
As my guy Danny would say, good call, Kareem, good call. Shout out to Mama Parsons in the building. I always think that's so cool that she watches the show. Just y'all know how I feel about Mama Parsons. She know how I feel about her as well. But yeah, that was a very interesting. I almost missed my opportunity to talk to Dak and didn't obviously get the picture. What somebody said in the comments, man, you should frame that. I don't really frame a lot of things, but you know what? I might. That might be somewhere back here at some point, man. That was pretty cool of him to do. And if y'all saw the picture, I swear, I promise y'all, I was happy. I promise y'all I was happy. But it don't look like I was happy because I wasn't smiling. And y'all know me, I laugh, have a good time, but that was the one picture I didn't smile and whatever, man. But that was a cool moment. Somebody asked me, was you nervous? I'm like, no, I wasn't nervous to take a picture with that. I was more nervous to ask the question at the press conference. Way more nervous. And shout out to Mel who called into the show and was giving me props for that. Listen, I thank you. I appreciate that. But boy, I thought I wasn't gonna get the question out. Be honest with you. Michael Gelkin was sitting in front of me, and shout out to Michael Gelkin. He helped me out. He's like, hey man, do you know the routine? I was like, no, I don't know the routine. Nobody tell me nothing. I just came here, doing my thing. I talked to the media guys, but they didn't tell me what I needed to do to get my question. Well, Michael Gelkin did. And then as in the middle of the thing, Michael Gelkin looks back and goes, I was like, yeah, you're right. It's about that time. And if you missed the question, I actually do have it up here. Here's the question right here. William Steele of A to Z Sports Dallas. How much do you weigh special teams better? William Steele of A to Z Sports It doesn't want to go through, but how much do you weigh special teams better and special teams ability with young players who are developing that may not have that much special teams experience?
I mean, that's an excellent question. That's all part.
I don't need to hear nothing else, Coach. You said it was an excellent question. Thank you, Mike McCarthy. We did it. We made it. We asked an excellent question. I'm done. Drop the pen. I'll see you guys after practice. That's kind of how I felt. That's kind of how I felt. I didn't want to get up there and ask a stupid question, and he say, man, that's a stupid question. Or he'll give me one of those chill responses or something like that. But boy, I was nervous to ask a question. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Y'all family. I was nervous as hell. Was I nervous to interview Will Greer and Jalen Tolbert and Jabril Cox and talk to this guy and that guy? And no. But damn, asking that question, boy, I was sweating a little bit. I was sweating, man. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Shout out to my guy, Sean, in the building. Brother Brown. TC915 says, this is to Mama Parsons. I feel like I need to thank you for bringing Mike into this world and raising an amazing young man. Definitely that latter part is so real. Definitely raised an amazing young man. If you guys haven't had a chance to go back, listen to his answer when Kyle Yeomans asked him about the Elvis movie. Just the way he kind of morphed that into, being loving and things like that, and shouted out his mom for raising him that way. Just Micah, just. Can Micah run for president? KD said that. Can he run for president? That's how I feel. Bet the other reporters was like, damn, should have asked about that. Good stuff, Sky. Thank you, S to B. Here's the interesting, and we're about to be in overtime. We're having a good time. I'm gonna get to you, Reek. Here's an interesting thing about that. I had about 4 or 5 questions. Yeah, I like to be over prepared. And the way that part of if you go look at the interview or the press conference, the way the part of that press conference was going, it was a lot of special teams. They were asking about Turpin. They were asking about this and that. And I said, well, this would be a good time to ask this question. And it just went, it just went. The funny thing is the couple of reporters to the left, Mickey was one of them. I said my name, and then, A to Z Sports Dallas, and they look back like, who the hell is this? So, yeah, that was interesting. Robert says, I don't blame you for feeling like that. That took a great amount of courage. Thank you, Robert. It was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, my chest, really, when I was done. And he said what he said. All right, let's get to Reek real quick, and then we'll finish off in the chat. Y'all been great today. What's up, Reek?
Hey, what's going on, Skywalker still? Cowboy Nation, what up? Like, share, subscribe.
All that good stuff, right?
Yeah, all that, man.
my thing is like this. I feel like this about the linebacker situation. What kind of turned me off about like LVE last year is that what he said to Micah Parsons in the beginning of the year, that he doesn't have to make all the plays. I never liked that. I never liked that comment. Ever since he said that shit.
You know what's funny? You still there? Hello? Reek?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad. I was like, yeah, man, I'm tired of this dude, man. I ain't feeling him, man, because he was brought in here.
Can you hear me?
He was. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you hear.
Yeah, man. This dude was brought in here to be the second coming to Brian Urlacher. And I'm like this dude can't hold Brian Urlacher jockstrap, bruh. So I don't understand how people think that he's that good. He's okay. He's an okay linebacker. He barely hits. He's more okay in coverage. You know what I'm saying? But I was seeing him getting dotted up the last couple of years in coverage. You know what I mean? And I hate to be coming at LVE like this, but at the same time, I look at it like this, man. I want linebackers out here that's gonna hit, run to the ball. You know what I mean? Like our logo, run, hit, talk shit. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see this dude getting bullied on the damn field all the time. Well, you know what I mean? Becoming a liability. Yeah, you know what I mean? And
they brought in Anthony Barr, by the way, who I forgot. When I made that graphic was made like a month ago, and Anthony Barr wasn't here. But my apologies. Forgot Anthony Barr was signed when we were talking about backers. They brought in Anthony Barr, Reek, and I think that Anthony Barr can really push LVE. I think this is a win-win, right? I think LVE either is going to step up his game, which, let's be fair, you know how I feel about LVE. I think he's not part of this future, but he's had a solid camp. So I will say that. But I think Anthony Barr either pushes him down the roster because he's playing much better than him, which is a win for the Cowboys, or LVE steps his game up and holds off Anthony Barr, which is also a win for the Cowboys. So that's why I wanted a guy like Barr in here to help push LVE and elevate whoever it is going to be next to Micah, whether it be him in regards to Barr or whether it be LVE in general, or Jabril Cox. You know, what if Jabril Cox shows he could play against the run and they don't got to take him off the field?
Yeah, because my whole thing is like this. I just don't want the Cowboys to play this political game because we paid this guy or he's one of our guys. I don't want them to play that game with these players because
I don't think they will.
Sir, I hope they don't because I think it'll be a bad look because we got a lot of young talent on this roster. You speaking about a dude named Story Jackson. He's undrafted, but he's popping off the screen. Yeah. Then at the same time, you got Harper. He's doing good things. Then you got the other dude that we just picked up from free agency, the guy with the dress, Jackson. Yeah, man. I want to give guys a chance that's, to make this defense a better defense that can get over the hump. Because we're going to need these players, these type of players, when it's time to play big boy football. When them pads is hitting, you know what I mean? Now people get ran the hell over. That's my biggest thing, man.
Let me tell you how night and day the Mike Nolan defense philosophy to Dan Quinn defensive philosophy is. And we know it's night and day, but the meritocracy, right? The competition. Last year, LVE, the first round pick, right? Everybody, like you said, you want to be no favoritism. He played 14 snaps in week 1. 14. So it wasn't like, Dan Quinn off the rip was showing any type of favoritism. And then we saw even later on in the season, he was like, let me see what I got in Kelvin Joseph. And you saw Anthony Brown sliding into the slot and Jordan Lewis kind of come sit down. You heard about Jabril Cox was getting ready to start taking over the role a little bit more, probably from LVE, if we're being honest, and Keanu Neal, if we're being honest. And then he got hurt. So I definitely do not think there is a case of, hey, man, this guy is been here for a while. He's our guy. I call it the Jeff Heath syndrome. Back then, Jeff Heath stuck around and just kept starting, even though we knew there were guys better than him in-house or out in free agency. I don't think that's the case with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, if you show that you better, I feel like Dan Quinn would do everything in this possibility to go to that front office and say, hey, can we keep this guy? And they'll say, yeah, if Dan Quinn has word on it.
Oh, I believe in Dan Quinn. I just don't believe in them Joneses. Because the way they like to play, you know what I mean? Just like last year with Zeke. his leg was messed up. Everybody could see that his damn leg was messed up. We rest Tony Pollard in week 17, and we get what, 4? What did the dude get? How many carries he got in the damn playoff game? And the dude showed you in a regular season game when we beat San Francisco.
Well,
I forgot what year that was.
That's
he did his thing.
To be fair, that's why I singled out Dan Quinn. Offense, different story. We got proof that the front office, meddles in that. For whatever reason, they let these defensive coordinators do whatever they want. Offense, maybe because it sells jerseys, puts butts in the seats. I don't know. They just feel the need to kind of meddle and all that stuff. So I ain't got nothing for you on
that's
that.
why I'm just so excited. I'm so excited about this defense this year, man. I can see the aggressiveness, and I've been waiting for an aggressive attacking defense for a long time in Dallas, man.
You got it, bro.
You know what I mean? Slamming people on their damn heads and getting me my turnovers. You know what I'm saying? I just want to play physical. That's all I'm saying. And I'm gonna say one more thing, and I'm gonna get up out of here.
Sure.
What I seen from some of the clips that you was just playing before I got on the phone with you, from what's his name, Ball. He was doing okay a little bit, man. It's like what you call it was holding on. What's his name? Rush was holding on to the damn ball too damn long. You know what I'm saying? I seen a couple clips you put up there. It was like the guy was trying. He looked better than he didn't look that bad. You know what I mean? He didn't look that bad. He probably got blown up on a couple plays.
Sir.
But at the same time, too,
I'm going to ask you
I don't think he looked that bad.
I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to go back and watch the game and then report back to me. Just focus on Josh Ball. Just not 5 clips that you might have saw, which, again, I'm not saying Josh Ball was getting beat every opportunity. Josh Ball looked better in the run game than he did in the pass game, and you saw a lot of the run clips. Josh Ball got abused after about the second possession. Because I even on my Twitter. Josh Ball started off serviceable. Wasn't something where I was confident to have him be a swing tackle. Still wasn't that good enough, but it was serviceable. He looked really, really stiff. He looked kind of not that confident in his sets, but he wasn't getting beat. So that's a step up from what was happening in the joint practice. But I don't know what game you were watching. Maybe you weren't.
Well,
maybe you were just watching those clips. Of the clips that I showed you were mostly of the left guard, right? But even in some of those clips, Josh Ball was getting beat. I just didn't want to point that out because it was about the left guard. Watch the stunts going to Josh Ball's side. Just because a sack didn't happen doesn't mean he didn't get beat on that rep. Watch Browning beat him 2 or 3 times in that game, but only got to the quarterback once. He gave up 5 pressures. Mm-hmm. 5 pressures that they were accounted for. There were more than 5, but he was accounted for 5 pressures. I don't know how you can come away and say in the limited snaps that he got, which were limited in the grand scheme of things, 5 pressures in one game and what essentially is like a quarter and a half, 2 quarters is good. It wasn't a good showing for Josh Ball. So I was just saying, go back.
Was it decent?
It wasn't decent.
Was it decent?
No, it was bad.
It wasn't decent either.
It was a bad game.
So, okay, he was more bad. So my question is this. Was he more bad on the passing? On the passing downs when he was pass protected?
Very much worse on passing.
But was he better? But was he better when he was running?
He was
running the ball.
He was if you had to pick the lesser of the 2 evils, he was better in the ground game for sure. He was terrible in the passing game after the first couple possessions, which sucked because I thought he was doing decent.
Okay. So my other question, I know we were sitting over here talking about wide receivers and stuff. Now, we was without Gallup last year. So we had to go to the 12, that's what they call it, 12 personnel with the 2 tight ends?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do that again. We're going to run the ball. We're going to be physical. You know what I mean? That's what I think is going to have to happen. You know what I mean? And we're going to have to ground the pound, especially against Tampa and I think against the Bengals. I think that's what we're going to have to do because if we're not sure about these wide receivers, I think that's the best way to attack these teams.
Well, I think
if you ask me.
I mean, that means ask the team. That's what they're going to do. I think it was Dalton Schultz who said, "What is your identity this year?" And he said, "We're going to have to run the ball." And I think he will come out and tell you it's because they don't have those weapons at their disposal early in the season. So they got to be more of a running team. And for me personally, I'm all about being more efficient than just purely just running the rock. But at this point, with your roster on offense, like, you have to lean on the ground game. So if that's going to be the case, if that ends up being the case throughout the season, then you're going to need that defense to be elite, right? Because I said this before.
Yeah.
Teams that win the Super Bowl leaning on the ground, not getting to the Super Bowl and then they have a good running game. I mean, like, they are a running team, usually are complemented with a top-tier defense. And if that's how the Cowboys are going to win this year, then you need that defense to take it to another level, and you're going to need the ground game. And Kellen Moore, because you're not always going to be able to beat the guy in front of you man on man. You're going to have injuries up front on the line, so he's going to have to scheme up some things for this ground game to look good. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. All right, Sky, man. Thanks, man. Holla at you later. Cowboy Nation, stay up. Peace.
Yes, sir. That is a and trust me, I'm not saying this about Josh Ball because I have some weird agenda. I rewatched, obviously, and you can go look at my Twitter. I said, man, hey, Josh Ball is off to a serviceable start, and then what happened, right? He got beat inside, had the ball batted down, and kind of just went downhill from there for Josh Ball. I think this is just cut and dry. Are you comfortable? Let me just say this. For anybody that believes Josh Ball had a good game. Are you comfortable, if you had to play a game on Sunday, rolling Josh Ball out as your swing tackle? Simple answer. Yes or no? Me? No. I haven't seen enough yet. Now, can he put together an amazing week of practice, an amazing preseason game 2, an amazing preseason game 3, and another amazing week of practice, and will things change? Sure. I'm about to come up with a new mantra or something. There's usually context matter, but the more data I get, I think the more my opinion can change. Your opinion can change. But the data I have right now, I'm not ready to see Josh Ball as swing tackle. Because what's going to happen, and if you notice, like I said, if you go back and go watch the stunts. It just was not clean at all from his side. It was a little worrisome. And what's going to happen in the game is teams are going to look at your line. They're going to say, oh, essentially 2 rookies. Josh Ball and Tyler Smith on that left side. Mouse in the house. And they're going to do things over there to make things hell for Josh Ball. And let's remember, that's the blind side. It's not the right side. The difference is the reason why you were able to see Dak in 2020 with a terrible Terrence Steele still throw for 400 yards a game is because Dak can see the pressure coming his way, right? Because it's not on the blind side. You can't see that over there. So, not ready for that. Not ready for that. So, I was about to lock these phones up. But I'm going to lock them now. I was really going to get off this phone here. But Coach Marv and JR is on the horn. We could be here for another hour, but I'm going to let them get up in here. Don't keep me too long, Coach Marv and JR. I'm going to get to you after Coach Marv. JR, what's good, Coach?
What's going on, guys? Long time no talk to.
What's up?
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Hold on 1 second.
Yes, sir. Josh Ball over Chaz Green says 6 to midnight. Chaz was a travesty.
Yes, I'm back.
Are you back? Okay, I was going
to
to read some comments. Go ahead, man. What you got for us?
Yeah, man. Hadn't talked to you in a while. Just wanted to tell you, congratulations on all your you got to ask your question in the big time thing, man. I'm really proud of you, brother.
Thanks,
really
man.
proud of
Thanks.
you, man.
We all got the question. I like what Mel said. That was everybody, man. We all got that out there.
Yeah, man. I'm really proud. But I just wanted to say one thing, man. I watched the game and I studied the game a couple of times. I think we done watched over everything that happened. I think y'all have done a good job massaging things, but just a couple of players that really impressed me. And I hadn't heard anybody say, and I had to do my little research on this Avon Collins guy, number 76. I think he had an outstanding game. And I had to say, where this guy came from? Then when I did the research on this guy, when he was in Minnesota, when he first got, he was an undrafted free agent. Before he tore his bicep, he was probably going to be penciled in as being their swing tackle.
Wasn't he here last year,
And,
too?
Yeah, he had a torn bicep, and then he had a leg injury. But he was undrafted at Minnesota. There was an article that that's when the coach there, his name was a guy that came from Cowboys anyway, was at Minnesota, and they were so disappointed because he tore his bicep and he was going to be their swing tackle. And then when he came back the next year, he was competing for the starting left guard position. But he was undrafted out of TCU. Came out of college running a 4.840, 35 reps at 225 in the combine. So when I was watching him the game, I focused in on him thoroughly for the whole 3 quarters I think he played. I think he played very well. And my question is this. If he was, when he first came out, he was running for a left guard position at other teams, as well as, potentially being a swing tackle when he was a undrafted free agent rookie, why is he not getting a chance to do swing tackle now? Or why we just put him on the right-hand side? And Sky, I know sometimes we focus on other players. I ask you, just watch this guy for the 3 quarters and tell me what you think. Because we talking about power, got good feet, a little nasty in him. And he has started a game in the NFL before. So I don't know. If this next week, I'm gonna see again. I'm not jumping overboard, but I'm gonna see again. But if I see the same thing I seen this past week, he's a little better than the ball. I can tell you that.
I'll keep an eye on Collins. I mean, he's been around the league for a little bit now, almost 30 years old. I feel like he is what he is.
Yeah, because he came in late.
Yeah,
he's been this is his 4th year, so he came in. He was one of the young guys coming out there. I think he had a red shirt year, a medical red shirt year in 2015, and I think he took that extended year, the red shirt medical year in 2015. So he's 29 years old, came in the league. But there's, I looked at some of the stuff that they was writing about him in Minnesota. There was some play that he had in Minnesota that was well, and they talked highly of him. But I think it was an injury and veteran type thing going on. But I don't think he played very bad at all on Saturday at all. None. I mean, one holding call he had, that was kind of a questionable call, but run game as well as pass game. And with a lineman, when you don't never speak about him and he's never mentioned, sometimes that means they're having a good game because there's not really nothing bad happening. See what I'm saying? So just check that out. I'm just saying, Sky, I know a lot of people get focused on the name guys, and I understand the young name guys to see what it is, but this guy had a great performance.
Yeah, I'll check him out.
So, all right, man. But like I said, Sky, your question was for everybody, man, and I appreciate all the hard work you're doing, man, and that's why I call you, because I know you and Vosh are looking into it. But check that guy out, and I'll be listening to Vosh show later, sometime to see, I know you'll pass word to him because you know about offensive line, and I value his opinion. But let's check him out and see what he say.
Yeah, I have him look at Collins as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say too much more about it. I'm still on the train of go out and get me a veteran swing tackle that's been productive in this league. There's a few of them out there, and has more starts than Collins. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was a guy that stayed on your practice squad last year. So I mean, they're very familiar with Collins, and they'll probably want him back. I would imagine they don't want to get rid of him. But for swing,
I don't think strength is his problem.
For
strength
swing,
is definitely not his problem.
I don't know yet for swing. It's going to take me. It's going to take some. I don't know yet. I'll go back and watch it though. I got you.
All right. Okay, this guy. Later.
See you, man. All right, let's get to JR, and we gonna get up out of her. What's up, man?
God. What's good, baby?
What's up with you, man?
Man, hey, hold on. I done got a hype. I done got pre-hype. It ain't even 11 o'clock yet. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta wake everybody
I was watching this interview, and they had, the best cornerback in the NFL, Trevon Diggs, on there, and they gonna try to hit him with one of the little questions. They hit him with them little quick fire questions.
Yeah.
What's the capital of Texas? And guess what my man said?
What he said?
Dallas. So if anybody got any questions out there, you know what I'm saying? If you want to know where to go when you get to the Lone Star State, go 45 North, 35 North, straight to the D, because that's where the best place is. No disrespect to anybody else. No disrespect to anybody. My bad, Voch. I know you're holding down A-Town, you know what I'm saying? But we know what home is, baby. We know what home is. Home of America's team.
What was he on? Out of curiosity.
He was. I think he was on I Am Athlete. He was on I Am Athlete. They hit him with all the questions. Who the best corner, who the best receiver, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? What I'm surprised, he did not have Amari Cooper in his top 10 receivers. I thought he was going to put him on. I was like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? That's interesting. But, hey, I would put Amari Cooper in my top 10, but, yeah, that's him. Yeah, but that was interesting, though. That's him. You got to ask, like, hold on now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but other than that, you know what I'm saying, what I was thinking about with our team, what we need to do, we need to get some legs out up there at Oxnard. Anybody who has a left foot or a right foot who can, swing their leg and possibly kick a ball, we need you. Come on, you know what I'm saying?
No. I am fully rooting all in, 10 toes down for Brett Maher. I need him to win this damn kicking competition, because me and Voss got the craziest, the best joke for Brett Maher if he makes the team. So we all in on Brett. We rooting for Brett. I'm keeping it a bean.
Oh man, okay. We all in on Brett.
All in on Brett, baby.
Y'all write it down. We all in on Brett.
I mean,
look.
I mean, I could have included Brett into this kicking or to this competition, right? Brett Maher made his only attempt. Hear him loud, hallelujah. Didn't make his. So Lirum sucky. Okay,
man, let me tell you.
Finish before I go off the rails again, man.
Whew. Let me tell you something about these kickers, man. You know what I'm saying? These kickers came off somebody junior varsity league. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Brett Maher. That's hilarious, man.
You know what I'm saying? These kickers we got right now, you know what I'm saying? They got kicked off the practice squad in Canadian Football League. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Boy, we need anybody. You know what I'm talking about? Bring back Gary Anderson. He might be 60, but he can sit. Mike Vanderjack. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Going back to the Richie Cunningham. You know what I'm talking about? We need somebody. Because it's bad out there. Come on, you know what I'm saying? True. But
hey, listen, man.
Yeah, we
Brett made his kick. That's all I can say about that, man. Brett made his kick. Man,
well, hey,
right now,
don't lie. You know what I'm saying?
Brett is kicking at 100%. So that means he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's all I'm saying. Brett screwed Brett 2 years ago, but Brett didn't screw Brett right now. So that's all I'm saying.
Hey, I got to tell you, hold on. That's absolutely disrespectful. Hold on. For you to say that he is the greatest of all time.
Best there is, the best there was, the best ever will be.
Dallas Cowboys history of kicking, absolutely disrespectful.
He's 1 for 1. He's 100%. He's the excellence of execution. I don't know what you want me to say.
All I'm saying is, Okay. Now, I can't forget, he made that 62-yarder that probably gave Jason Garrett about like 4 or 5 more games being here, you know what I'm saying? I can't forget that. But,
exactly.
Whew, come on now. Come on now. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, JR.
We got to address that. I would say, before a swing tackle,
I feel you, JR. We'll do it, man. But appreciate the call, man. Let me get up out of here. We in super overtime.
Hey, I appreciate it. We hit some thank you for the overtime, you know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all going to hit that like and subscribe because you know what it is. If it's Cowboys, it's the place to be. With Sky to the top, A to Z, baby. Love you, Sky. You have a good one, bro.
Appreciate you, JR. Boy, be spitting, man. We over here having fun about Bret Hart, right? For those who don't watch old school wrestling, probably have no idea when I said excellence of execution, best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. That is Bret Hart. Bret Maher. Is who we were talking about. I told y'all my story, and Vach's as well, but my story getting to Oxnard and leaving Oxnard is an entire episode in of itself. Y'all will not believe who I met during my trip. The excellence of execution, Bret Hart. It was crazy. You know, I'm going to sit down at the airport, look over, man. That's Bret Hart. Dropped my dang ticket. I already dropped, so they think I'm fanning out. I wasn't. I was just, man, that's Bret Hart. Got my kids with me. You know, Bret is literally sitting adjacent to me, like on the other side. And he went up and did something. I said, man, y'all know who that is? Of course they don't. My kids are young. I pull out because they love wrestling now. I got my kids into wrestling. And I showed them who he was, showed them a championship, showed them some clips, and they, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you tell me? And they're going crazy or whatnot. I'm like, oh, calm down. He might be coming back. So he comes back. I said, hey, Bret, man, I just want to say I appreciate what you've done for the industry. I low-key wanted to say Bret screwed Bret, but that's wrong. I love what you've done, for the industry. Big fan growing up. Thank you. These are my kids. I showed them who you were, and they kind of freaked out a little bit, man. And he was like, well, do they want an autograph? And I was like, a picture autograph. I thought he was going to take a picture. My man pulled out his poster and signed 2 autographs for my son, MJ, and my son, Deuce, he's a junior. And he put Will to MJ. And it had the best there ever is, best there ever was, best there ever will be. Bret Hart. What a trip. And that is only the tip of the iceberg on the trip. Me and Vosh are supposed to do a behind the scenes podcast at some point to talk about said trip, man. But man, it was unbelievable. That trip, I couldn't tell, sometimes if I was in reality or if I was in fantasy, man. Speaking of fantasy, listen, Danny. Y'all know we got the fantasy draft coming up. I will give y'all some information on that here soon. But if you want to join our fantasy football league that we got going on, head on over to Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Type in the promo code ATOZ and you can enter into our fantasy draft. If you don't want to do that, head on over there anyway. Use the promo code ATOZ and then enter your drafted team into the Best Ball Mania 3, which pays out up to $10 million in prizes. You can do a $25 league, you can do a $10 league, you can do a $250 league, however you want. And the best thing about Underdog Fantasy is that all you got to do is draft a team, set it, and forget it. All right, so head on over to the website, or the easiest way, download the app, use the promo code ATOZ, hit me up on Twitter at Skywalker Still, email me, SkywalkerStillGmail, let me know that you did so, and I promise y'all I'll have details on the exact date and time for this fantasy draft. All right, Underdog Fantasy, the easiest and best place to play fantasy football. Y'all had to see that coming, didn't you? All right, let's get to the chat and we gonna get up out of here. James 1053 asking if Dan Quinn is a problem for the Flags on Saturday night. They always stirring up. Really interesting. King Element, man, he's a class act. Damn Canadians, he absolutely is. With the way things are nowadays with COVID and things like that, I didn't know if he wanted to be as close, and I didn't want to take a picture. I ain't that guy. I didn't even ask for one. He came out to me and said, hey, would they like a autograph? And that was this really cool moment for them. And I told my kids, I said, I have no idea what just happened, but hold on to this. All right, hold on to this. It really sucks when you see some of your heroes and your favorite people growing up get old like that. But he was really cool. Jack said, Lemitra like that one. Jack said, I'd be fanning out. Part of me, y'all know how I feel about wrestling. Inside, part of me wanted to. But I'm a respectful young man, and I did not want to infringe on his privacy. It's the airport. Nobody wants to be bothered at the airport. But I just couldn't help seeing my kids get excited. And then when he came back, I just thanked him, and he did what he did. Vosh don't like the transition. I love doing that. My middle name should be corny because I do the corny things to make people laugh, but it makes me laugh too. So hey, Shaq King, you said you Cuban. Oh, okay, you're talking about King Element up in here. CJ said I can't wait for the game shows with you and Jesse. I can't either. I'm so glad those are back. If you missed the beginning of the show, Jesse, Holly, myself will be back at Texas Live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whenever they're playing for our pre-show, halftime, and post-game show. They're fantastic. I think they're going to be even better this year because we got some roots a little bit here in Dallas now. People know who we are. They know the game day stuff. And we're going to take it to another level, man. TC, Big Brother's watching. He said, as soon as you mentioned fantasy, Underdog sent me a notification. Hey, man. Just saying. We watching. That was some magic type stuff. Keep it trill, Sky, man. Catch you tomorrow, bro. See you, Peasy. Appreciate you coming through. We all about to get up out of here. We all about to get up out of here. CT Matt here. Would you play Zach at right? Put Connor at right guard if and when Tyron gets hurt, and then move Steele? That is a lot of moving pieces, but I'd much rather do that than the other fantasy that we were talking about, putting Zach at left tackle after 13 years of not playing, or whatever the hell. It's been 10 years, however long, of not playing left tackle. Sure, break glass in case of emergency type of situation. I would definitely put Zach at right tackle, Connor at right guard, and move Steele to left. And to be honest, at this point in time, aren't you kind of in that situation? There's no way you trust Josh, bro. As much as we can hate Steele at left tackle, again, he improved bit by bit the more he played over there. I don't want to throw him over there for 7 games. I don't want to. He's not my future left tackle unless that's where he's going to focus at. But I'd rather do that than put Josh over there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, man. I think that's it for the chat. We're starting to clear out here and down here in the chat. If you enjoyed the show, you just popped up in here, or you've been here forever, hit the like button. That is what Vosh likes to call our virtual currency. It helps us out. Subscribe if you haven't. That really helps us out as well. And really the best thing you can do is share this thing with your friends, families, and foes, right? Share this, like this, subscribe to this. It's only going to continue to get better. And the more you guys support this thing, the better it'll be, and the better we will be together as a Cowboys Nation. Later tonight, Mo will be back on A to Z Sports Primetime. You know, you might see me pop up there. I don't know. I might hit up Mo. He's doing a 53-man roster projection. I think it's early. I want to save it to once we get down a little bit more. I want to get down to about 70 or something like that. But I love projection shows, so I might pop in there. Not saying I am, but I might pop in there. Tune in anyway. I'll hit up Mo, and we'll see what's up. A to Z Sports Primetime, and check out his articles. Him, Cole, Matt Lennox. I'm sorry if I'm missing somebody else. Shane Carter over there. A to Z Sports Dallas, and now we have a film room YouTube channel, A to Z Sports Film Room, where we have a new guy. I believe it's Jake. I'm sorry if I forgot his name. He's very new, but he does film reviews, and he'll be dropping some of those, not just for Dallas though, for all 13 of our areas at the A to Z Sports cover. So check out all that stuff, man. Support, do all that good stuff for us. It helps out. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and press this button and get up out of here. Y'all keep rocking. The chat was popping today. Shout out to Miss Sharice, a.k.a. Mama Parsons, in the building, and showing love to the chat, showing love to the show. Much love. You know how I feel about you and the fam. Gotta hit you up. I'm so mad I didn't get a chance to get over there with MJ and Malcolm and things like that. That really hurt me. That really hurt me. So I gotta make it up to you. Michelle, book us. We gotta get over there. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace.
Bomb Squad!